An issue we're tackling here is definitely bullying, but we're talking about bullying in different forms. We've got our Dr. Steve, who's here to break it down for us. Dr. Steve.
Hey, good morning, Suki. That's right. Bullying does come in different forms. And for children living with food allergies, they can be the target of bullying, believe it or not. So not only do you have to cope with the fact that your child has food allergies, you also got to deal with the fact that there are other children that are teasing them about it. So here to talk more on this subject is Dr. Lawrence Balter. Dr. Balter, thanks for coming in this morning. So what is it about this bullying? I mean, it breaks my heart that you have a kid that's got to suffer enough for food allergies, then to find out other kids are bullying them.
So it's adding more stress to the very question of how to deal with stress about having an allergy. Kids who are bullies are going to pick on a kid for any reason. And I think you need to tell your child that there's something the matter with the kid who's picking on you, first of all, and use some choice language. You know, that kid's a jerk. Right. Make it possible for your kid to talk to you. Let them know if anybody bothers you about anything, including the allergies, let me know. Schools usually have bullying programs available. They're usually safe places where kids can go. One thing is walk away from the bully. The other is see if you can enlist some other kids to stand up for you. And
right.
A lot of kids don't even understand how significant it is to have an allergy.
Right. So if you get other kids to support you, and the schools really are on this, would you say that this is the most stressful part of having to deal with food allergies, being bullied, or are there other things that kids with these allergies have to deal with?
I think there are a number of things, and that's one more. The other things are, first of all, to be singled out and be different from other kids is really hard. Kids want to be just like all the other kids. And the other is to deny yourself things you really like. That's stressful, to pass up on things you really enjoy.
Right. Now one of the other things, other tips you have for parents and kids, one of the things you say for them if they have food allergies is not to trivialize their allergy. What do you mean by that?
Well, parents tend to not like to hear kids sound negative, and kids are going to feel frustrated, angry, embarrassed, upset, and you have to let them say what they feel, show them you understand that it's understood. You're going to feel that way, but then go a step further and say to them, look, you're a regular kid and you got to deal with this. Kids have to deal with all kinds of stuff. Some kids have braces on their teeth, some kids wear eyeglasses. You got an issue, but you're a regular kid.
Yeah, but the kids also have to understand, too, that this is not like you're the parent. It's not like you're putting this prohibition on them. It's not like I'm a bad dad and I'm saying you can't have this. They've got to understand you have a medical problem, right?
That's right. And yes, don't make it a parental prohibition. Otherwise you're going to become an adversary. I'm on your side. We've got this issue to deal with together, and let's do that.
Right, and one of the ways you say to do that is to help your child assume responsibility.
Yes,
how does that work?
Well, earlier in the week you had mentioned something interesting. You said there are household products, not to be eaten, but that have food items in them. So one thing is get your kid to be a detective. Go around the house, find out what the ingredients are, even of things like Play-Doh, stuffed animals. The other is make a list of stuff you can eat, stuff that's prohibited for you. Give your kid an opportunity to practice ordering in a restaurant. In other words, put them in charge, give them some responsibility.
Right. Well, and so we know the kids have the allergies. The parents have to deal with it. But, the ones we never think about are the brothers and sisters that don't have the allergies, who have to sacrifice everything else, right? All of a sudden, everything in their house has to be gluten-free, and we can't have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches like everyone else. And, when you're 6 or 7, it's hard to have to deal with that when you have a younger brother or sister. So what's the advice you have for those kids that don't have the allergies, but they're suffering that as well?
My heart goes out to them. First of all, you shouldn't prohibit foods that they can eat. They shouldn't have to suffer just because someone else has to not deal with those things. So make sure you let them know it's really hard for you. I know that. There are some things you can eat that he or she can't eat, and it's okay. Don't let them think that you're brushing them aside and everything is around the kid who has the allergy. Let them know you understand how they feel. Let them have their treats. They don't have to be deprived.
Oh, there you go. All right. Dr. Lawrence Balter, thanks so much for coming and some great advice. All right, Chris, Suki, back to you.
All right, thank